South Australia, home to the genius of Karen Ralton, the determination of Shelley Nitsky, and the mastery of Megan Shute. When one looks at the skill set of Tahlia McGrath, it should come as no surprise that she hails from the same state. Tahlia May McGrath, born November 10, 1995. South Australia skipper, all-rounder extraordinaire, and in the words of the power to be, a player with the attributes to cover for the mighty Ellyse Perry. Mere days after her 21st birthday, McGrath made her international debut in 2016. Since then, in just 13 innings, she has gone from being yet another all-rounder on the Australian team roster to possibly becoming an irreplaceable piece of the jigsaw puzzle. Here's how she did it. Tahlia McGrath's 3 acts. Now before we begin, let's take a crash course in screenwriting, shall we? It will be relevant, I promise. The 3-act structure is a model used in narrative writing, and as the name suggests, it divides the story into 3 parts: the setup, the confrontation, and the resolution. Every story more or less follows this structure, and believe me, Tahlia McGrath's story is a pretty darn good one. Just a day before her 22nd birthday, McGrath received her test cap. An Ashes series, the first ever women's day-night test. The stakes could not have been higher for the baggy green number 171. After taking 2 crucial English wickets in the first innings, McGrath walked into bat at number 8, joining Ellyse Perry, who had notched up her maiden international ton. Australia were trailing England's 280 in the first innings by only 10 runs, and the visitors were feeling the heat. The debutante had an opportunity to make a serious impression. It didn't start well though. McGrath offered up a chance of her first ball only for Heather Knight to shell a sitter at extra cover. 2 balls later, she calmed her nerve with a boundary to open her account. And for the next 36 overs, the right-hander proved impossible to dislodge. She shared a 103-run stand with Perry to help extend Australia's lead to 93. And by the time McGrath was dismissed by Georgia Ellyse for 47, England were worn out. Charlotte Edwards was right. Team Australia had found their next star. "1,060 days after the conclusion of that test match, McGrath, who had struggled with her fair share of injuries and spent plenty of time with Australia A side, finally got the opportunity to don the green and gold in ODIs. Australia were 1 victory away from equaling the world record set by Ricky Ponting's team, that is 21 consecutive ODI wins. They were without 2 of their superstars, Ellyse Perry, who was recovering from a hamstring injury, and Meg Lanning, who had a back issue. In her comeback game, McGrath was slated to bat at number 7. When she walked in with only 15 balls remaining in the innings, McGrath went ballistic, carting Sophie Devine and Rosemary Mayer around the park, even taking the latter for 19 runs off the final over. 11 balls, 29 runs, 4 fours and a whopping 6, and a strike rate of 263. McGrath's cameo boosted Australia's total to 325, their highest ODI total against New Zealand. The hosts went on to register a thumping 232-run win, thereby securing the record. While McGrath's contribution was not revolutionary in the scheme of things, she had put up her hand for the bigger role that was soon to be thrust upon her. This is the part of the story where the crisis is resolved. Our hero fights against all odds in high-stake environments to land the final victory punch. McGrath got this opportunity against India. Going into the second T20 International of the multi-format series, Australia were holding on to their 2-point lead with the skin of their teeth. India had proven to be a bigger challenge than the hosts had initially believed, and they needed something really special to seal the series. With Australia chasing 119, McGrath walked into bat when they were already 4 wickets down. India's bowlers had their tails up. They really believed they could win. But Australia's jersey number 32 had other ideas. Spurred on by a reassuring word from her batting partner, Beth Mooney, McGrath went straight to work. After an early lifeline from Richa Ghosh, she clobbered the Indian bowlers around the park, stupendously sweeping the spinners, regally driving up against the seamers, and casually sealing the tense 4-wicket win for Australia. There was no over-the-top celebration, no stream of expletives. She pumped her fist, embraced her batting partner Georgia Wareham, and calmly walked off the field like an old pro. In an international career that has so far lasted over 1700 days, McGrath has had the opportunity to take part in precisely 19 of these days. Her chances have been limited, but when they have come, she's taken them with both hands. Is this it? Have Australia stumbled upon their next all-conquering all-rounder? Key partnerships in tests. Explosive ODI and T20I innings. Player of the series versus India. Women's Big Bash League finalist as the first-time skipper. What's next on Tahlia McGrath's list? Could this be the Ashes, the World Cup, and the year of Tahlia? Only time will tell.